Welcome back to the Graphite Curve Studio. Today we'll be attempting to draw a beautiful woman. I say attempting because, as I'll explain later, something went wrong. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that you're always notified about my next video. As always, I'm going to start with the line drawing. This model has a beautiful but messy hairstyle, and I'll admit, it did intimidate me. But while working on editing this video, it is the first in a long set of videos where I didn't use the Loomis method. I did use a bit of it to map out the face, but not the entire construction of the head. Because of this, it seems, I tried to fit the face in the space that was remaining. Now, there is a reason it's called a method, and that's because it's a series of steps to be followed, so that you don't get lost. Skipping these steps doesn't really turn out well, as we'll see later. It's like skipping a step in cooking. There was this one time, back in college, when I was going to make potato wedges for the first time. I followed every step, except one. Early in the process, I was supposed to bake them, or boil them, or something. Whichever one I forgot was critical, because once I fried them, and they were done, they just tasted like they were raw potatoes, covered in a crispy batter. As I was eating them, it dawned on me that I had forgotten a step, and that was how I learned the importance of following the order of instructions. Overall, the drawing didn't turn out horrible, as you'll see later. It's only that a lot of time and effort could have been saved by taking it step by step instead of all at once. I believe that the hair was the best part. It is such a beautiful hairstyle, up until you go down too far. Then it gets kinda messy, and it was hard to capture. I tried my best to capture the face, and I could have, if only everything was perfect. And by that, I'll have Myron Golden explain something that was explained to him.
I was talking to the guy, Garrett, the guy who was training us on this machine. I was like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. I'm losing distance in my golf shots around him. He's like, okay, let me ask you a question. He said, what do you think your brain is more interested in? You being able to hit a 300-yard drive with your driver, or not hurting yourself? Not hurting myself, right. He said, your brain will automatically restrict some movements if it knows that if you pull that movement off, you're gonna hurt yourself. That's why athletes, sometimes they are in a zone, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they just can't pull it off. Like sometimes, even in your sport, how many of y'all know what I'm talking about? In your sport, sometimes it just doesn't work. I'm like, I was able to do this yesterday, or I was able to do this last week, right? But you were but maybe you slept on your arm wrong, right? Or maybe you twisted your neck, or had too many pillows or something, and now your body's like, no, you can't do that move today, right? Proprioception is the ability to know where you are in space and be able to move your body in a particular way. And sometimes your brain will just restrict it and put you on lockdown and won't let you make those moves.
As he explained in the video, I was saying to myself, what happened? I was able to do this last time. We've seen this in a number of drawings, where I've turned a blank page into a beautiful woman. I'm not saying this one isn't beautiful. It turned out pretty good. But it isn't what I wanted for this one. I'm only saying that I did feel as though something was wrong the whole time, and that something wasn't right. The reference was great. I wasn't tired or anything. I chose the picture the day before. Everything was set on schedule. As Myron said, Our brain would restrict certain movements if it knew that something was going to hurt us. Normally this drawing would have taken about 3 hours and it had been done. But anyone who's done any amount of drawing knows that a drawing, especially at this scale, is composed of a lot of micro movements. And that's true for small details like the eyes and the mouth. I was working on this and I didn't know what was wrong. I started to believe that the last video had affected me somehow. The one about how you don't suck and your tools might. For a long time while working on the mouth, I was worried. Worried that the last video was wrong. And that I did suck. That it wasn't the pencils. It was me. And though we put a lot of emotion behind our art, it's not good to be preoccupied and not focused on what we're doing. And then, while I was working on the neck, it happened. There began to be a pain in my thumb. All of a sudden it made sense. I knew what had happened. Because I had seen this Myron video a week ago. I didn't listen to my body. Normally I would have said this wasn't a drawing day, but I pushed on anyways. The time between the last time I worked on the face and started writing the date was when I decided to stop. Even while writing the script, there's still a bit of pain in my thumb. I spent the rest of the day watching Andrew Tischler videos, and he brought a new drawing technique to my attention that I think I'll try out, so don't forget to subscribe. In the end, the drawing took too much time, and now we know why. Take care, and God bless.